Rakdos returns, Liliana's, Big Garrick, so Billy's trying to go big.
Definitely, definitely. And Ted's trying to do the same thing too. He's trying to ramp with an Arbor Elf, trying to ramp with the Avacyn Pilgrim, but essentially just dropping Loxodon Smiters, Hunt Masters, Restoration Angels, and just really powerful creatures. Ted actually was not even going to play this weekend. He's in a band, and his show got canceled because of the snow. That's why he came.
Wow, that's pretty good timing.
Yeah.
About to make top 8 if he can win this match.
Yep. All right, so Billy P plays a Pillar of Flame targeting Ted's Arbor Elf. So it's going to slow down Ted a bit, but he's going to follow up with a second Arbor Elf. I missed having you in the booth.
Oh, you know
what? I was gone for too long.
I'm sure Ruben did a pretty good job.
He did, yeah. It was nice having Ruben in the booth as well. So Billy P is going to play his third land in the form of Cavern of Souls. Good chance it's on human, I'm guessing.
For Billy?
Yeah. Regardless, he plays a Rakdos Key Rune and passes the turn.
It'll be something that can make green mana, so it's either be on beast or human. It doesn't really matter though because his mana is perfect this game.
Yeah. Billy P. I mean, his deck just has really good mana.
It does. It can even fit into Kessel Wolfront.
Cavern is on Vampire. Kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Well, why not? He already has double black for the Vampire Nighthawk.
Exactly, but it is his only double spell.
Sure.
So.
Meanwhile, Ted continues to ramp his mana in the form of a third Arbor Elf. 2 are in play, 1's exiled because of a Pillar of Flame.
Wow, I wonder...
Oh, Bonfire for 1.
I was going to say, I wonder what kind of hand he kept.
Maybe
interesting.
Yeah, not too sure. Maybe a rules question there. Regardless, Ted has a double Thragtusk. He drew one that turn and he had another one. So he was trying to set up an early Thragtusk, but instead, all the elves met terrible fate right there.
Kill every elf on site. That's Billy P's motto this game.
Yeah, and there's a Hunt Master. Billy P has always been kind of the mid-range player, so Billy P's just waiting on a wolf, it looks like. And there's one of the Star City Wolves. Billy P doesn't have any more lands.
Wow, so
3 lands and a Key Rune and stop.
He'll be able to play 1 spell each turn. That's pretty much it, and that's always been the problem with these Jund decks. All their spells are so powerful, but so expensive.
Yeah, their spells are kind of slow and clunky. Yeah. I actually showed Ben Lundquist a deck that I wanted him to play at one of the opens out in California, and it was a Jund deck, and he just said it was just way too slow, way too clunky.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you have to play Rakdos Key Rune in your deck, that's when you know it's slow.
Yeah, slow and clunky, but powerful if you get the right mix of lands and spells.
Exactly.
All right, so Billy P draws a Farseek, not quite a land, but it will probably do right now. I think if Billy P had the option of not drawing a Farseek or risking it, I think he would just settle and take the Farseek.
Yeah. The problem with that is, again, Farseek takes up your whole turn just to get 1 more land.
And it also doesn't help you flip the Hunt Master. If it was just a land, Billy could have just not played anything, but...
Yeah, I think I might have activated Key Rune and swung and flipped my Hunt Master.
Yeah, that could definitely be reasonable. Maybe he's fearing like an Abrupt Decay or a Searing Spear, and he really doesn't want to lose the Key Rune. I mean, obviously Abrupt Decay could hit the Key Rune, but the Searing Spear wouldn't.
Right.
Then again, there's a good chance Ted probably just would have Searing Spear the Hunt Master. So I'm not really too sure what Billy's plan is, but there's a Liliana.
Well, that's pretty good. That's better than Farseek and Key Rune.
Definitely. So he's going to activate Liliana, making it go up to 4 loyalty counters, having both player discard cards.
Yep, and now this is good for him because Ted can play all the spells. Billy's playing 1 spell a turn. He's going to be cutting Ted out of options far sooner than he'll be cutting himself.
Sure. I think Ted's hoping to draw his one of his 2 Rakdos returns, but Bonfire for 2 is pretty good here.
That might be Miracle. Okay, not Miracle.
No, he had it in his hand. Yeah, his hand was Bonfire, Thrakdos.
Okay. So Liliana down to 2 counters, takes out the Hunt Master.
All right, so Billy P finally draws his 4th land, which gives him access to 5 mana. So if Billy's holding on to a Thragtusk, which I think he might be, he'll be able to play Thragtusk and pump up the Liliana again. I'm not sure if Ted should have played his 6th land or not.
Yeah, that definitely seems like a mistake. The fact that he has to lose Thragtusk now,
yeah,
that's pretty ugly.
All right, so Billy P's going to play the Drug Skull. Oh, okay, it was a red-black dual land. Had to come into play tapped, so even if he had the Thragtusk, couldn't play it.
Okay, fair enough. Hunt Master is pretty good too.
Yeah, definitely. So he's getting 2 life and put the token into play. Billy P draws for his turn. Okay, so he did have a Thragtusk. Now he can actually play it. He'll play it off the Woodland Cemetery. Dragon Skull Summit. was played last turn. All right, so Billy is going up to 28 life, I believe.
28, and and Liliana discards his pillar, but Smiter goes right into play.
Yeah.
So Billy P's still in good shape here, even though that Smiter was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, he's in great shape. And I think Billy just wants to chump the Thragtusk, just keep Liliana alive.
Exactly. So Thragtusk trades with Smiter. Billy gets a 3/3 out of the deal, and the wolf is down.
Oh, another Thragtusk for Ted. That was definitely a good draw.
So
But
Ted,
I mean, unfortunately, you know, for Ted, Billy just has the key rune, so you can sit behind the key rune and just block the Thragtusk all day long.
exactly, the key rune, it looks really janky because it's a 3-mana artifact that seems to only add mana. It's so good against Thragtusk.
Yeah, it really is. And it's also fine at attacking. Getting 3 damage just for activation of 2 mana.
Yeah, that key rune's one of the best for sure.
I think Billy P drew a land, which is fine here.
Yeah, he doesn't even mind that. That gets him up to 6 mana. That gets him up to Mortar's mana. The fact that it's a green land gets him closer to Garruk.
Yeah, and he doesn't even need to play a spell because he can just flip his Huntmaster.
Exactly.
So I think here Billy just wants to activate Liliana and just pass the turn. I think there's no need to attack.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just up Liliana, go. He's in great shape. He's threatening Liliana Ultimate in only a couple turns.
Yeah, definitely.
Huntmaster can now trade with Garruk if he wants it, or rather Tusk if he wants it too.
But he won't need to because he has the 3/3 Beast and the 3/1.
Right.
That will be a first striker.
And then the Ravager of the
key rune.
Fells will just take over the board of beasts.
Yep. Ted's gonna swing in, and Billy is just gonna activate his key rune. And those are the blocks that we were expecting. So Billy says, hey, take my beast. We'll save some time. And I think Ted's just gonna play out his last land and pass the turn. Ooh, Billy drew another Liliana. Kind of unfortunate here.
Yeah, it is. Not much he can really do about it, though. He's still in great position. Oh, he makes him...
Oh, no, it's not... Oh, with a staff in him.
Wow.
Wow, I thought it was a Liliana.
So one staff of him in Billy's deck. He draws it off the top. And
that's actually like the best draw for him.
Is the best draw in the deck. Yep, there's
really
no doubt
is.
about it.
Ooh, just a Huntmaster for Ted.
That changes the game a little bit, but still, Liliana plus Staff of Nin, just these repeatable effects that cost no mana every turn are just going to be too much.
Yeah, this game is so heavily in Billy's favor right now. Billy draws a Farseek and a Huntmaster. So now Billy can actually play both spells. He can play Farseek and Huntmaster.
Yeah, and that would reflip his Huntmaster.
Reflip his Huntmaster. But then if Ted just doesn't do anything, Ted would flip his Huntmaster. So Billy doesn't want to flip his Huntmaster.
Right. Kind of an interesting spot. A spot that he's just not going to cast Farseek so that he can keep his Huntmaster flipped, maybe.
Well, I don't even know if he wants to cast the Huntmaster because the Huntmaster is just going to die. The second Huntmaster.
Yeah, that's true.
So, although Billy's in a good position, it's still a little bit tricky because Billy just wants to make sure he doesn't die. As the longer the game goes, the better it is for him.
Exactly. I mean, that Liliana is just going to tick upward and upward. The Staff of Nin is going to draw him card after card.
Yeah, he definitely wants to keep the Liliana out of the Huntmaster's range. So I think it's fine here. Okay, so he's going to play Farseek.
Yeah, he decides that's better than Huntmaster.
Well, I mean, he could still play Huntmaster.
Right, he could.
Which I think he might just do. I can see him playing Huntmaster and then just taking up Liliana. I think that plays fine, because then if Ted doesn't play anything, that means he's drawn a land, or whichever card that he draw is just going to lose to Liliana anyway.
With the new trigger rules, does that change whether or not he chooses to flip his Huntmaster? Can he choose not to?
No, because it's always up to your opponent.
Still has to, right? Okay.
Alright, so the Huntmaster that was already in play is flipping back down. And Billy will get another 2 life and another token. Now, I mean, Billy's just in great shape. And it's pretty much coming down to the cards that gain him more and more card advantage. Liliana gains him many card advantage. Staffinen, many card advantage. So Ted really doesn't have a way to break through this or gain the card advantage back.
No, and you know, in a matchup of these mid-range decks, that's what's usually going to take it. Billy P has 2 Garruk Primal Hunter, 1 Staff of Nin, 2 Rakdos return. Ted only has 2 Garruk and 2 Rakdos return. So I guess Billy is up on or up 1 Staff of Nin and 2 Liliana
Sure.
in terms of long game.
All right, so Billy now will lose one of his Huntmasters, but his other Huntmaster will flip.
Right, and that'll deal 2 to the Ravager, but more importantly 2 to Ted, bringing him down to 20.
Exactly. So Billy's going to draw 2 cards again. There, was that a Garrett?
I think it was a Rootbound Crag.
Oh, it was a Rootbound Crag? Okay. Yeah, it's just 2 lands, I guess.
Yep, looks like 2 lands.
All right, so not that good for Billy, but he's still in fine shape. Now, do you think Billy would want to just lose his Liliana? We can't see it at home,
Right.
but there's a Liliana with 2 counters. So what do you think? Maybe we could get Billy to move his Liliana down. If we could, just everybody at home could, follow the game a bit better.
No, it looks like he's just +1ing it.
Making it go to 3 counters.
He's just still going to make these guys face off with each other. These creatures just stare each other down because he always has the Key Rune plus the Staff of Nin to first strike down a Ravager.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
he can never get attacked by it.
Yeah. It looked like Billy was kind of tempted to actually activate the Key Rune and attack. And then if Ted wanted to attack, the Huntmasters would trade the Ravagers with the fellas.
Right. He's going to go with the safe line.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I think I agree with
Yeah, I
him.
definitely agree. The longer the game goes, the better it is for Billy.
Right.
Ooh, there's a Rakdos return.
Okay. So that'll deal with the Liliana.
Sure.
And really, that was the only downside of Billy's play.
Yeah. Ted decides to tap all his mana.
Yeah, why not?
He's just like, I'll just tap all my mana.
Discard all the cards.
So Billy drew a Farseek and a Thragtusk, it looks like. So I think right here, Billy actually just wants to attack with his Ravager of the fellas.
Yeah, at this point, now that his Liliana's
Perfect.
dead, he has to go aggro.
Yep, I really like that play. He attacks with both, and he's going to follow it up with a Thragtusk.
Boom.
All right, so Billy gains some more life. He's up to 35 now.
5. He's, he almost has the achievement double your life total.
Yeah.
He's real close.
All right, and Ted's, trying to stay in it, but the game's almost over.
Really, he could draw the best card in his deck every turn. And he would
yeah.
still have trouble beating the Staff of Nin.
Yeah, definitely.
Does he have any main deck way to kill it?
Did Billy shoot Ted? I didn't even see if
He's been shooting Ted every turn. Yeah.
even last turn.
I mean, so.
They might just say take one.
Right.
We can't really hear. So yeah, he did shoot it. The life total got updated.
So you got Ted 0 ways in the main deck to kill that Staff of Nin. So that is in play for the rest of the game.
All right.
The only way I see him winning is maybe if he somehow resolves a Garruk Primal Hunter, draws some cards, draws into an Aurelia the War Leader. There's a chance.
I mean, Billy just wins with the Olivia here.
Right.
He just
straight up wins. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ted is just lethal. It's just lethal this turn, right? He steals it. 5, 8, 14. He could steal it, shoot once, pump, and then steal it, and then it's just lethal. There's a Restoration Angel.
Okay. So it's going to prolong the game one more turn.
Yeah. Ted actually drew really well this game.
Yeah.
Off the top,
he kind of drew the best he possibly could have.
Every turn.
And
he stole the
yeah.
Planeswalkers
are just too powerful. Staff of Nin too powerful.
Yeah. Staff of Nin, a card you don't see too often in Standard. If you do, it's usually a one-of in these, Jund mid-range decks.
But in this kind of matchup, it's perfect. It's exactly what you want.
Definitely.
Something unkillable. Your own personal Hamden.
All right, so Olivia grows and grows.
7-7, Olivia.
7-7 up now. All right, Ted finally draws a brick, just draws a land, and decides to scoop it up. All right, let's take a look at their sideboarding. All
right, what's Ted have?
Ted's definitely going to bring in his 2 Olivias. He's going to bring in an Oblivion Ring. He's going to bring in another Rakdos Return. He's going to bring in an Unburial Rites.
What do you think about those Triumph of Ferocities?
I actually thought about it at first, and then they decided against it. I think it's just too much of a risk. He does have the Smiters, which is really nice, and he's on the play, so I can see him bringing it in for this game.
For game 2, but not game 3?
Yeah, for game 3, Triumph on the draw against a deck that, does have a lot of removals and just has big creatures itself. It's just kind of risky that it just might be a 3 mana, draw 1.
Yeah, if that.
If that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times what happens with that card, you play it, you think you're all set up for it, your opponent just kills your biggest creature.
Yeah, kills your biggest creature.
Kills your next biggest creature, and then, I played this 3-mana enchantment that doesn't advance my board state.
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm behind.
And even if it draws you 2 cards throughout the course of the game, it's not very good. Because you really don't know how the pace of the game's going to go.
Right.
Sometimes the game goes really long. Sometimes the game goes really quick.
It's kind of like Think Twice in that way. It's like people are paying 5 mana for Council of the Soratami. This isn't that much better a lot of games.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in a super long game, it's going to be nice, but in a super long game, you know, it just shows you staffing in how powerful it is.
Right.
You know, because it's always going to draw you an extra card, and it's going to have the second ability of dealing damage anywhere you want. Triumph of Veracity, although it costs 3 mana less, it's just a lot more difficult to use and properly get the advantage. So before the match started, I thought Billy P had a favorable matchup. I still think he does. I think Ted is really going to be reliant on drawing one of his 3 Rakdos returns.
Yeah, that card is very powerful. We saw that game. Billy had a full hand long after Ted did.
The only problem was he drew the Rakdos return when Billy had 0 cards in the scene.
Right, but in this game he'll have access to 3.
Yeah, so he'll bring in his extra Rakdos return, which will definitely help. I could see Ted bringing in like 1 or 2 Slaughter games, just because he knows that it could come down to a Hunt Master War, it could come down to a Thragtusk War. So I can see that being the case. But I don't think so.
Really like it.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, if he is going to do it, he's going to have to do it this game, because Slaughter games on the play is much better than Slaughter games on the draw. With Avacyn's Pilgrim or with Arbor Elf, Ted is able to go, you know, turn 3 Slaughter games much easier, where it's going to have a big factor to the game.
Right.
The other thing is that Ted might actually have to board out some of his mana ramp creatures. You know,
yeah, I really like that. I would take out all 3 Arbor Elves, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, having all these 1/1s for 1 mana, it's just, after turn 1, they're just really bad, and it's just a liability against Billy's heavy removal deck.
Exactly. Ted's playing 24 land, 4 Avacyn's Pilgrim, 3 Arbor Elf, 4 Farseek. So really,
that's like 31 lands.
He's playing 35 mana sources.
35 mana sources. Yeah, 35.
35 mana sources.
That's insane.
So he has to cut at least 3 Arbor Elf, maybe even some Avacyn's Pilgrim, make those bonfires in Billy's deck less of a blowout.
I mean, we saw what happened. He just got 2 for 1. He was really relying on his Arbor Elves, and then Billy P's just like, okay, bonfire for 1.
Yep.
And then Ted did nothing on his turn 4. He just played a tapped Overgrown Tomb, and the Thragtusk just sat in his hand and had to wait an extra turn before it could have to play.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the same page with those guys. We'll see if Ted does it.
Yeah.
On the other side of the table, Billy P, he also has access to Slaughter games. Again, I don't think we'll see him, but
Billy P definitely would not bring the Slaughter games against Ted, but I can see Ted bringing the Slaughter games against Billy, because Ted is, you know, the aggressor in the matchup.
Yeah, the onus is on him to really win the game too. Billy P just has to survive to let his more powerful deck take over.
Definitely. What's Billy P going to bring in? Did we go over that yet or no?
He has 2 duress if he wants to fight against Rakdos return, but Billy doesn't know how many he has. He also doesn't know that Ted has Garrett.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he's probably going to have to assume that Ted has some form of Planeswalkers, either Garrett Relentless or Garrett Primal Hunter.
Yeah, Billy's a sophisticated player. Just because he didn't see it, I'm sure he'll bring in the duresses.
Definitely. What do you think about the Deathrite Shamans?
Yeah, I'm not sure what matchup those are there for. I mean, it's pretty interesting to see him in the board.
It's obviously powerful against the Reanimator matchups, getting it down to turn 1 and stuff, but also in some of the grindy matchups, a card like Deathrite Shaman could be pretty good.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Definitely. Also versus Zombies, Deathrite Shaman, although Zombies isn't really a deck right now, in my testing, it's been one of the best cards.
Right, because you get to remove their Gravecrawler, you get to remove their Giraffe
Messenger, and just playing it and knowing that if I don't kill it, it's going to gain you 6-8 life throughout the course of the next couple of turns is just so devastating for them.
Right, it lets you play your game so much differently.
Yeah, it's even good against the mono red decks because they just have to kill it.
Exactly.
And it's just really good to be able to stop at turn 1 Noble.
It's actually pretty good to slow roll against the red decks too if they don't have Noble, because you bait out the removal, you play Deathrite, all of a sudden this is this card that's just going to gain you 2 life every single turn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Definitely really good.
So I don't think Billy will change up his deck too much. I think just Duress, maybe Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah, and he would probably bring in Deathrite Shamans too against like the Temple Flash decks, just to stop Snapcaster Mage, maybe cut off a Moorland Haunt.
For sure. And just to gain some life.
Yeah, why not? Runechanter Spike, you want to shrink?
Everyone loves gaining life.
Yeah, pretty good. Alright, so it looks like both players are going to keep. Ted leads off with a Stomping Ground. So no Pilgrim, no Arbor Elf. Maybe that signifies that he did board them out.
Yeah, I think so. 2 mana, Farseek. That's the mana accelerator he wants.
This is the draw that Ted wants. He doesn't want an elf. He just wants to go second land into a Farseek.
Right, and hopefully drop a 4 mana creature like a Huntmaster, an Olivia, a Resto. Get the pressure down early while Billy's deck is still clunky.
And Billy P plays a second land and then passes the turn.
Yeah, no Farseek for him. Maybe sitting on an ultimate price, maybe sitting on a Searing Spear.
Sure.
But that's all he has on 2.
All right, Ted draws. I think he drew a land that turn. I see a Stomping Ground in his hand. And do we have a Smiter? No, he just passes the turn.
Nothing, huh?
All right, so this probably signifies that Ted has a hand of Rakdos Return, Thragtusk, just really expensive cards. Maybe some removal cards like a Searing Spear. But I guess not, because he would have definitely killed that Vampire Nighthawk, I think.
Yeah, interesting to note, Ted had no black men so far. Although, actually, there it is. So he can Rakdos Return at will.
All right, so there's a Thragtusk. Ted goes up to 25 life. And Billy draws a Deathray Shaman, is it?
It looked like... Oh,
it was a Duress. Okay, I first thought it was Duress, and I thought it was Deathray Shaman.
So, notice the turn Billy P played...
Ooh, oh, wow. That's a bad hand.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, his best hope now is just going to be to Kessig Wolf run the Thragtusk and hope it's enough.
Yeah. Maybe he could start townshipping the Thragtusk.
Yeah.
You know, that might just be better in the long run. If you were Billy, what do you take here? Abrupt Decay or Bonfire?
Oh, definitely Abrupt Decay.
Yeah, definitely Abrupt Decay.
Bonfire costs so much mana.
Yeah, and it's just so slow, and it's not effective until like 7 mana.
Now, I think it's pretty important to note, even though Billy
why
drew
would he
that,
have Bonfire in his deck?
I don't know, it seems bad.
Yeah.
But even though Billy drew that Duress that turn and played it that turn, I think he would have waited for this turn anyway, because this is the key turn. Because you have to get Rakdos Return right before he's about to cast it for your whole hand.
Yep. And there's a Liliana, so he's definitely going to plus it to 4. Ted's just going to picture a Blood Crypt. And, Ted drew a Smiter, which is pretty good here. Because now, Ted could attack, Billy's going to block, he could pass the turn, he'll have a 3/3 and a 4/4.
Yeah. That's really good.
Wait, why would Ted trample over?
So Kessig...
Oh, because he's killing a Liliana?
Right.
But why? Why would you want to kill a Liliana there? When you have Smiter?
It might not have been a Smiter that he drew.
No, it's definitely a Smiter.
Or he might have been worried that Billy was going to -2 make him sack the beast, in which case his entire plan falls apart.
No, I don't think there's... I don't know. Is my play like bad and risky?
It's really risky. I don't know. It's only bad if they don't +1 Liliana.
All right.
But that's the line Ted chose. Now he has a 3/3 beast, a wolf run, and 7 lands. He's trying to take Billy P's life total down in big chunks.
All right, so everything's getting pumped into the beast.
Wow, Billy just with nothing.
Yeah, wow. I'm surprised.
I wonder what he's sitting on there.
I really thought Billy had this game after that Duress, taking away most of Ted's action. There's a Barter in Blood. Barter in Blood reprint.
Yep.
This one's from Adversary Store. 2 colorless, black. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Really good against, Geist type decks.
Wow, and another Thragtusk from Ted. He's just drawing really well this match.
But you know what Billy just drew this turn? Looks like an Olivia.
Wow.
Unless I'm making it up.
That's even better than Thragtusk. There she is. The Queen Mother herself.
All right, Billy just does it now, makes it a 4/4, plays around Searing Spear, and he also knows that Ted has the Bonfire in his hand, so he wants to make sure it's bigger than 3/3.
Yeah, good play by Billy main phasing the Olivia there.
Definitely.
His opponent knows he doesn't have anything for 3 mana. So.
And I mean, next turn, Billy can just steal the Thragtusk. That Thragtusk is a vampire. Billy has 3 colorless, black to be able to steal it.
Yep, Olivia, one of those cards that just, it drops in and out of play, but every time you see it played, you're so impressed with how good it is.
I'm still almost certain that was in Locks and the Smiter if he drew that turn, and I wonder how the game would have been. Because I think Billy would have...
I think Billy would have -2 to kill the beast. He had no answer to it. Billy definitely would have done that.
I guess so. Alright, so I think Billy drew a Huntmaster this turn.
I don't think he's playing it. I think he's just stealing the Tusk.
Yeah, he's going to have to. So 2, 3... So maybe Ted's just trying to go to the Dome.
Yeah, he's got to be just thinking that. His opponent's at 5 and he has a Bonfire.
Bonfire, why not?
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be able to race it, though. He needs to draw 3 lands before Billy can do 28 damage.
Yeah. If I were Billy here, I would just steal the Thragtusk and attack.
Yeah, because next turn you can play the Huntmaster.
Yeah. All right, and he's going to shoot the Thragtusk. Olivia's going to grow again to a 5/5.
Yep, so Ted down to 23.
Yeah, Ted's in bad shape. What can Ted really do?
I think he can just fire off a bonfire and hope the top of his deck is kind to him, because he's not winning the race, even if Billy doesn't have Hunt
I mean,
Master.
but there's no card that he could draw, really.
He can draw another burn spell. He can draw Rakdos Return or another
But
bonfire.
Rakdos Return just kills him anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Even with Huntmaster, yeah, it does.
You know what I'm saying?
So-
Or like
so I
another
guess-
bonfire would just kill him straight up. The only thing maybe is he could draw the War Leader.
Yeah, but even so, that's only 2 outs in the whole deck.
Yeah, and plus if Billy has mana open, he can just steal the War Leader.
So Billy in the driver's seat here. He's trying to dodge a few cards from Ted.
Oh, what about this play? What about if you just would not have attacked with Rakdos? That should have been the line.
Why is that?
Because then there's no way he would have Liliana made him sack. He would have increased the Liliana to grow loyalty counters.
Oh wow, bonfire. Is that enough? 1, 2. Oh, okay, that's a bonfire for 4.
Yeah.
So Olivia survives, and Ted gets 1 more turn to draw a burn spell.
No, he's just dead. The Olivia will just
pump. Yeah, you're right.
Pump. Yeah.
Maybe Billy won't see it.
No, Billy's definitely gonna see it.
Boom.
Yeah. All right. And Billy P wins, and congratulations to Billy P. He makes top 8 at SCG Open in
What did
Edison.
you say? This is his first top 8 since 05? Is that?
I think he top 8 at a Grand Prix a couple of years back.